Today we got the Vosteed Marten in 154 cm with the top liner lock and Ultim scales. I've carried this for 2 or 3 weeks now, and it's ready to get sharpened, ready to talk about it, talk about some of the pros and some of the cons, and sharpen it. Let's start out with why I got it. I loved the my voice cracked. I loved the Foca so much because of its top liner lock. I was like, I have to get another top liner lock. And Vosteed has been known for their liner locks lately. The Vosteed Porcupine and Raccoon, Vosteed Raccoon. I can't remember. Vosteed has the Corgi. That is not a top liner lock. That is their own lock design. But they have been very popular lately and coming up. And I found this knife. I loved the looks of it and the ergos, so I decided to buy it, and they did not disappoint. This thing is a slicing machine. I destroyed a bunch of cardboard, and even when it started to go dull, you could barely even tell. And in this clip, you might see some of the cardboard's torn. Give the knife a little bit of break. It was very humid that day, so the cardboard was kind of wet. But it finally started to get dull, the 154 cm, and that was all that cardboard was processed a week or two after I'd been carrying it already. Yeah, you can see it catching just a little bit. Not terrible, still a slicing machine. It's the thin profile, the behind the edge thinness. It is insane. Let's talk about the knife before we get into sharpening it. Start off PVD coated blade. I believe it's PVD. I don't think they marketed it specifically. I got this one off of Blade HQ. Obviously your Ultim scales. Ambidextrous pocket clip. That's pretty tight, pretty nice. You have your dual thumb stud with your matching back spacer. Obviously we talked about the top liner lock and bearings that are super smooth. I did oil them one time, I believe, only because they've been in my pocket for so long and I wanted to make sure everything stayed nice and lubed up, nothing rusted. You have this little finger choil here that works out great for a 4-finger grip. This knife can be a 4-finger grip. I have about medium-sized hands and my pinky just barely is halfway on there. So it is a 3.5-finger grip. I think it's amazing for an everyday carry with this really good jimping back here. And look at the size of the stop pin for the lock. This stop pin is pretty substantial compared to some other knives for just the blade itself. So as you can see, here is the Kaiser stop pin for the blade and the Vosteeds, and then the lock stop pin just substantially bigger. And let's compare that to maybe a Civivi. Here I have the Civivi Cachet, or Cachet. I don't know, but just look at the size of that stop pin, almost double. Sweet little knife. This came in the same box, so we're gonna get to this one next. Now we finally got this one ready. But I really like the ergos, slicing machine, amazing action, and wonderful detent. Beautiful little noise. But the cons, there was two big things that really annoyed me about this. Oh, one last pro. Hardware all around this knife is T8. I didn't realize how great that would be until I finally had it, and it is amazing. But the con is I had been fidgeting with this knife for quite some time, and it got so bad that the blade actually got loose and was hugging this right scale. And I had to pinch it and turn it by hand until I could get home and get some tools to actually repair it the right way. And you can see that in one of my shorts. I ended up using this off-brand Loctite. It's the same stuff. It worked great. I have now opened and closed this probably 100, maybe 200 times since I put that on. I haven't had the issue since. But on top of that, as I was tightening it up, I didn't get it quite tight enough. And then this scale would click. It would wiggle loose enough that you could hear it click. It was mildly annoying, to say the least. My biggest complaint is this deep carry pocket clip is amazing if you can get it to go deep into the pocket clip. With your screws, your screw heads, and this actual clip itself, how it sits above the scale, oftentimes the hem of your pants will get caught here and it no longer will go all the way in. And if you can get it, you can feel it tearing up the hem of your pants. So it's kind of annoying because it's such a great clip. It would be nice if they just inlaid or inset, however it would be, if they just carved out a chunk around the mounting bolts, so that way the clip could lay flat and then your pant hem could slide all the way up the scale. It'd be an amazing little fix, and I think that that would just tie the knife all up. The pivot issue, I'm gonna chalk it up to one that got out of quality control that they didn't catch. It wasn't a major issue to repair. Once again, it was just T8 hardware, and this bottle was like $6 or $8, $6 or $7 at the hardware store, so it wasn't bad. 154. This is my first time working with 154 CM or CPM 154. Pretty much the same thing. I did a lot of research on it to see what kind of edge it would like, what it would need, and I found from my research that I've done, it sounds a lot like a stainless D2, pretty much. You can see here, once again, you're gonna laugh at me, but I had dropped the knife out of the truck onto the gravel, and it did not nick up the coating very bad. I also cut 12 gauge wire with this because I didn't have any side snips, and you cannot tell anything at all. The edge is perfectly straight and in line, no nicks or anything. I wanted to do some cutting with some wire too, but I felt bad for being late on the video, so I figured we ought to just get this knife sharp and get back to it. And also, I loved having this thing in my pocket. I'm really excited to get it back in my pocket. It was a wonderful little knife. I believe it was $99 on Blade HQ, and I did not check anywhere else to see what it goes for. Do I think it's worth it? Yeah, especially if the pivot issue isn't a big thing. Like if it's not every single knife, it's definitely worth it. If it's every single knife, I expect better. For $100, I'm really annoyed about that. But for $99, 154 CM, and amazing lock, I think this thing is a wonderful EDC, and it is super light. It comes in, I know aluminum scales, I believe G10 as well. I'm not 100%, but there are different options if you don't want the Ultim scales. So, gentleman, his channel is Diamond Cut Steel. He had commented on one of my videos, the last one with the Kaiser Focus, saying that he believes that one issue beginners can have with having multiple stones is that they progress too quickly and they don't actually get a good edge. I believe that's a good point. I just prefer to do things differently, but today I'm a deburr on the 400 just to prove that it's possible, that he's not making stuff up. Go check his channel out. I think he has pretty good content. I watched his stuff before I started getting into YouTube. Pretty good guy in my opinion. I'm starting on the 400 today because I don't think that this edge was so badly damaged that it needs a 300. Let's see. Just making sure the scratch pattern is even. Yeah, it's not looking good at the tip. We're gonna have to fix that. It's looking great down here. Gotta keep it a little more flat at the tip, just like that. Just making sure we get the right angle. You know, you might be asking yourself, why do I keep throwing knives on the ground? I don't mean to. I get bored at work and I'm fidget with them, and then I go to get out of the truck and I forget they're on my lap and they hit the gravel. Oh, the tip's doing great. We already got our burr on our tip and the belly too. We just need to get our burr on this last few, on the last inch and a half. I need a better lamp. This is junk with all these shadows. It's a tough world out here trying to figure out how to get good lighting. I'm trying to make my videos as high quality as I can. Uh, it is difficult. Obviously I'm not making any money off the videos now. And so it's hard to justify getting a new tripod that's not 1 foot tall, or a new lamp, or a bigger desk. Yeah. In the future, as the channel grows, that's definitely something I want to get. I need to slow down. I was focusing on talking, not focusing on sharpening. Let's see our scratch pattern, what we're looking at. Yep, will not focus. Oh, that's substantially worse. Okay, well that's funny. All right. I guess you're just gonna have to take my word for it as I describe it. Well, it looks like a bunch of scratches are on my edge. It's like a pattern of them. You can see we added a lot to the angle there. It's just gonna make it more slicey. It's gonna take away a little bit from the edge retention, but I'm not too worried with this knife and the way I plan on using it. I always found that the second burr comes in way quicker. Looks like our edge angles are, I hope it's slightly different, not drastically. So you can see the thickness of our actual bevel is different. So what we can do, let's get some better light here, and we can look down the tip of the knife and see our two bevels meet, and see the apex, and kind of get a gauge of how far off our angle is. There we go. Now we got our angles matched up pretty good, it looks like. We got a burr back. All right. Now that we got it properly apex, let's go ahead and deburr. So can it cut paper off the 400? Sure can. Look at that, much better. It's not hard to get an edge on a lower grit stone, and sometimes that's all the stone you might want. Today though, I want to go higher. We're gonna stick with this stone. Flip her over to the 1000 grit. Okay, off the 1000 we got pretty good, not bad results. I do think I could have done a little bit better, but I would rather dull the knife out a little bit, try again from a from a dull blade, then grind away unnecessary material and drastically reduce the life of this blade for no good reason. All right, here we have a DMT extra fine. I believe they state this to be at around 1200. Even then, their 1200 could be different than a couple of other companies' 1200. So a good rule of thumb is that you can usually feel the difference when it comes to stones. When you're freehand sharpening, a huge thing is to take your time. I got caught up in talking, trying to make this video as interesting as possible. And because of that, my edge angle is now 17 instead of 20, which isn't the end of the world. But On such a thin knife, 20 would be noticeably different. It would hold that edge a lot longer. I cut myself. My little finger. You see the line? I'm alright. Oh wow, that's got some bite to it. Shaving sharp. That's hair freshly growing in from last time. Oh, hair popping sharp even. We're gonna hit it first on the 5 micron and the 2 micron, and then I'll just stop there. No point in going to the 1 and 1/10. On these strops with the handle, I find it easiest to either place it on the table and then strop, or take the handle and place it up in the pocket of my shoulder like you would a fiddle. All depends on what's available to me. I'd probably have this sitting on the table right now if I didn't have my phone and a tripod in my way. That's okay. This is the same way I'd do it if I was sitting on the couch watching my cartoons. I got an affiliate link with Migron now. I'll go ahead and leave it in the comments, and I ordered one of their knives, and I was gonna leave it in the comments of that video. I do get 10% of whatever they make, 10% commission, whatever they sell. So some transparency to you guys. But the funny part was, I sent it to my friend, and I was like, "Hey, you need a knife? Here's a knife for you. This thing's pretty good. It's the new Karok, the 62 HRC D2." He's like, "I don't need a knife right now." I go, "What? What do you mean you don't need a knife? I don't, I don't understand." And I counted my knives because I was thinking about it. Well, how many do I actually have? Do I need a new knife? 150 knives that I can remember. 2 of those are missing. Bummer. But 150 knives. And I just ordered 3 more, and they came with a free 4th one. So I have 4 more knives coming, guys. Stay tuned. Yeah, I'm giving one of those away to Dad. He's got a birthday coming up. I realize I have too many. And not all of those are super high quality knives. A lot of those are junkers that Grandpa gave me. They got at the auction or something like that. Or I got at a yard sale because there's a bucket of knives for $1. I'm like, okay, I'll take the whole bucket, all for 1 knife, something like that. I probably only have 10 high quality knives, like this nice single hand open, reliable lock, good blade steels. I probably have only 10 knives like that. Maybe more, but let's see how this does with a mustache hair. Still technically a hair. And there's part of the hair on the edge still. So it will cut. Not bad. Let's see how it is in paper. All the way to the tip. Sweet little knife. Pretty okay blade steel. I really don't hate it. Almost I really don't like. I really didn't hate it. I think sharpening it was a breeze. There's some issues we had, but that can be errors on my end. It held an edge pretty good for pretty long. You saw how much cardboard that thing processed. Furthermore, the geometry of the blade is so thin that It didn't even matter when it started to go dull. I didn't know until I took it to paper. So, sweet little knife. I think you should go get you one if you need an everyday carry. Small, light, fits in the pocket swell. I can actually fit this in my large fifth pocket. So that's pretty nice if you ever consider carrying two knives. But that's it for today, folks. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, drop a comment on anything you want me to make a video on. Um, if you want more sharpening videos, you want more knife reviews, what do you want out of the channel? We'll see what the goal is, what everybody wants to see. But yeah, thanks for watching once again, and have a great day.